Okay, happy Monday, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. We have a really special guest. I am so excited he's here. Michael D'Arminio. He is our Chief Marketing Officer with Plexus. So super, super privileged to have him here. He's part of the executive team. And I have been connecting with Mary Day recently, who we had on our call last week, and she is just wonderful. And she graciously asked if he would hop on and just share with us for a few minutes. So Michael, we are so excited that you're here. I know it is a extremely busy week for all of you at corporate. We are getting ready to head out to Nashville. We're all super excited. So thank you so much for being here.
Of course, it's great to be here. And first of all, thank you so much, Brittany, for pronouncing my last name correctly. My dad would be so happy if he were still alive. So thank you for that. Because I know it's not an easy name because there's lots of apostrophes and vowels. So first of all, I'm really happy to be here. I have to say, I've been now with Plexus for about almost a year and a half. And I think we've made great progress. And I have to say, I really do mean that you're going to hear a lot about, are all of you going to convention, or are most of you going to convention? Great. You're going to hear a lot about it actually on stage. And it's really around, again, our ownership, our leadership in what I call the position of a healthy gut and a healthy microbiome. And that has so many implications on everything that we do as it relates to product, messaging, positioning in the marketplace. So, we landed on our tagline, founded in gut health, experts in microbiome, just a few weeks ago, maybe about 2 months ago. And I'm a really big fan of that because, what Plexus owns as a brand is the gut health space. That is really what we own. That's our cornerstone. And with that comes the whole story around what a healthy microbiome is. For those of you that are very well versed in it, that is becoming increasingly more valuable as time goes by. So there is so much connection of a healthy microbiome to everything in our body, on our skin. So where we're moving towards is we will always own the gut health space, but we're so much bigger than that. And you're going to see that happen more and more as time goes by. That's one piece. Absolutely, and you'll hear this also at convention. We'll talk a lot about how we're focusing on triplex and what does that look like. Updating a few things there as it relates to our materials, our messaging, our science in terms of, I'll call it taking some of the heavy lift off of all of you and really putting it on Dr. Hartman, who is our subject matter expert. And you'll see that in a few things that we'll talk about at convention as well. And I'm very excited by that because to me, the path forward is really super clear. We are obviously launching some new incredible products at convention as well, which we're really excited by. And so far, what we're seeing just from our testing and validation, pretty incredible. So we're really excited by that. I would say, some of the things that I'm really excited by here is one, we launched today actually, which is which for those of you that are going to our website, we call it our PLP page on our website. So being able to sort and filter correctly, the categorization of our products, the speed, that is a big milestone forward for us as we really begin to revamp a lot of our, I'll call it our website and our technology. And there's a really strong roadmap of that over the next, I'd say, 9 to 12 months. And I really do mean this, 6 months from today, 8 months from today, we will be in such an incredible space in terms of how we can market, how we can reach out to customers, and how we can ultimately build something even more incredible than what it is today together. So the future looks really bright, and I'm really excited by that. more so from a perspective of, and I always say this to many people, you know, I really do believe in what we're doing and I believe in our products. But I also don't want it to be the world's best kept secret. Like, I feel like everyone should really know and understand, you know, the world of Plexus and what we're doing here, and, you know, what our products stand for and the incredible results that they are. Um, and you're going to see so much more of that as we move forward in terms of incredible before and afters and testimonials. The market looks really strong for us, both in our gut health space, in our energy space, in terms of things like active hydration. We're in a really good position today in the marketplace, and it's only going to be stronger. I'm really excited by that because, you know, when I arrived here, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, there is so much potential here, and we've just barely scratched the surface. And I really mean that, both in terms of efficacy, science, marketing drive, reaching out, bringing more people into the Plexus franchise. The future looks really, really bright. And at the same time, for those of you that have heard Gene Tips, our CEO, speak, he is 1,000% committed into reducing all the friction that many of you already experience, simplifying the process, ease of checkout, creating an incredible, you know, you're all customers, creating an incredible customer experience, managing our shipping costs in a better way, which, you know, we hear about that all the time too. So we've got a number of things and initiatives here that we're really looking to strengthen, which will, again, only set you up for even more success as we move forward. But I'm super excited. We've accomplished a number of things. There's still a lot of work to do. But I really do believe the future is so bright for all of us.
Thank you so much, Michael. And I don't know if you can see the chat, but we are all super pumped.
Oh, great.
We already think Plexus is the best thing. So just, you know, seeing some of these updates and just knowing some of the frictions going away is huge. And we're
Okay.
also pumped for convention.
Okay, who is Shannon Seelman? Just raise your hand. Okay, I am so glad you said that on the being able to add limited edition discretionary orders to subs, simplifying that.
Mm-hmm.
I have to tell you, okay, I know I'm going to really spill. That is something I have been screaming at the rooftops on, and for sure Genevieve and others were with me on this one. That is such a game changer for us. And I know we're testing it right now, and a number of folks are obviously using it, but that will simplify so many things, especially to your point as it relates to LTOs and being able to consolidate the order so that you're not getting hit with more shipping costs. I'm so excited by that. So thank you for recognizing that. But yeah, we're really excited by so much of what we're doing. And I'm not just saying this, there's definitely a roadmap ahead of us. There's a lot of heavy lifting, but we're going to come out of that absolutely on top. It is where we're going, in terms of all sides, in terms of product, position, marketing, technology. We will all be super winners here. It's funny. I just got Gene. we did something really well the other day, and Gene's like, "We need a bell. Hang on one second. I'm gonna go grab the bell."
He's really getting it.
I am. So we're putting this on the wall, and so every time we like accomplish something really important, we're gonna ring the bell.
I love it.
And the whole team is so behind that, you know? And I love that. I like working with passionate people that really believe, because through that, I think we can all do great things. So, but thank you for having me. And I'm really excited to see you guys in Nashville. It's going to be amazing.
We can't wait to see you. Thank you so much for your time. And I just have to tell you, we know, like, we love and trust corporate so much. We love that you guys have such a vision for where we're going. And at the same time, you have our backs and always do things not only in the best interests of the customers, but the ambassadors. It's just such a great partnership. We appreciate you.
Thank you. And really, thanks for having me. And anything you
Yes.
ever need, just reach out, okay?
Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great night.
You too.
All right. So how fun is that to have like chief marketing officer, right? Don't you guys love that? It's like a
That's awesome.
yeah, it's like a behind the scenes, like what's going on at corporate. Like I'm so pumped by this. Yeah. Okay.
That was so
Amazing.
fun. And
you.
he was like, sorry, Victoria.
Oh, you're fine.
He
Go
was
ahead.
so laid back. I loved that so much.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, thank you for setting that up. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was Mary Day. She's like, I'll get some executives on here. Like, I think she's gonna keep them coming our way. Like, I'm hoping Alec Clark is gonna be on our call in the next couple months sometime. Maybe we can get Gene Tips on here. It's so cool. Like they don't ask how many people are on your team. They don't ask how many people do you have showing up to a team call. They're just like, yep, we'll do it. We're happy to. How cool is that? It's amazing. Like, I don't know any other company
I
that would
love it.
They
Yeah.
want to know how many people are showing up, what's Brittany's growth in the past X number of months. Like there'd be questions. With Plexus, they're like, yep, we're there. No questions. Just the best. Okay. Transitioning, guys, to sorry, I feel like we could just end there and we'll all be happy. But okay. We want to spend some time talking about Build to Last. So some of you have been reading this book. It's been really, really good. Others of you haven't, but are still here, which I'm so happy you are, because I think the discussion will be still really valuable for you. And then hopefully you'll go read the book because it's been good. So it's broken up into 2 sections. And section 1 is called personal leadership. So that's what we're going to just kind of have open discussion around tonight. Definitely want to hear, all of you who are reading it, want to hear your top takeaways, favorite things in it, your thoughts. And then next week, we will not have a team call because it's like, it's travel day for convention. I'll literally be on an airplane this time next Monday. So we won't have a team call, but sometime during that week, I will let you guys know. We'll hop on and kind of do a convention debrief. So whether you were there or not there and you want to hear all the things and all the highlights from the sessions, we'll hop on and just kind of debrief through convention. So I will let you guys know when that will be. And then the following week, we'll go over section 2 of the book, which is leading others. Okay, so tonight is leading yourself, personal leadership. And there were 5 chapters. So I think we'll just go through like one at a time. And if you guys have things that you want to share, you can just unmute and share that. But what the book is the description is that it's a step-by-step guide to long-term network marketing success. And that's exactly what it is. It's really focused on building a business that lasts and becoming a leader of leaders, not a leader of followers. And the guy who wrote it, Keith Callahan, he is a 7-figure earner in his network marketing business, and he was in the wellness space as well. So a lot of what he says really resonates with, what we're doing, how we're building. At the end of each chapter are action items. So this is not like a, listen and be done or read it and be done. Like it's designed to get you into action with everything that you learn. So super, super good. Okay, so I am going to start with chapter 1. And you guys can just unmute and share as we go. Okay, so chapter 1 is Build to Last and leadership. And again, he really talks about being a leader of leaders. And I'll just share one quote and then open it up for you guys. What really stood out to me is he said, leaders of followers need to be needed. Leaders of leaders want to be exceeded. Meaning that we're always looking to grow and develop other leaders. We're not just looking to increase followers. So that's what stood out to me. What did you guys think? What are some aha moments?
Okay, so
Go ahead, Britt. Go ahead, Victoria.
no, go ahead, Alicia.
Okay, I was just gonna say, there were a couple of things, like this was I feel like just a perfect place to start, because it was just super helpful. But one of the things was, I feel like, especially as we head into summer, he said, like in this leadership section, if I step away from my business, not only is it going to survive, but it's going to thrive. When you've set it up well and you have other leaders and you've empowered them to find resources and to build like on their own. I just felt like that was such a good reminder to be like, that's the goal. The goal isn't to be doing everything so that you're always needed. I found that super helpful. And then he'd rather have one true leader than 100 people who are half in. And I think sometimes we're like, we have to find all the people, and you really don't need everyone. You just need those people who actually want to be here and want to grow too. We need the happy customers, but not every single one is going to be the person who, you know, wants to go beyond silver. And I feel like that was a good reminder.
Mm-hmm. Victoria, you want to piggyback off that?
Sure. Yes. Okay. So I was gonna say, hold on. Okay. So what the first quote at the very beginning where it says personal leadership is more about who you must become than what you have to do. I feel like so many times we're like, I mean, I've said this how many times where I'm like, I'm doing the things, but like and you've said this before too, Britt, right? We have to think of our future self, like who is that person, and really visualize them. What kind of characteristics do they have? What kind of person are they? And really lean into becoming that person. Because we can sit and do our IPA all day long, but if we don't take time to think about that, it's not going to happen. And then the other thing that I liked, like I love the action steps at the end. But like he said, make a list of like leaders that you admire and like think about what they do. And honestly, I was thinking like that was kind of hard for me at first, but then so I was thinking about like Celeste Gwen and, you know, Melissa Eichenhorst and these like 5-star diamonds, right? And I feel like a lot of those leaders just, one, they lean into the personal growth, right? But they also eliminate a lot of fluff. Like I feel like they do the things, but like, and then do you know what I mean? Like they show up even though they are the leaders, and they do the things that they need to do. And they set an example of like, this is what you do. And then you move on. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. They stay consistent, I guess, in maybe what they're doing, because the reality is that success it's boring. It takes the mundane, boring things. It's not all flashy and fun 100% of the time. Right. So that was kind of something that stood out to me.
Yeah, that's really good. And he talks a lot about having like one main thing you're working on and like sticking with it. And of course, like your company, right? Like he talks generally, but Plexus is going to have like flashy things and like stuff we want to get, like leaders retreat, like all good stuff. But you want to make sure that the actions you're taking every single day are moving you towards whatever your one big goal is. Like for him, he wanted to make $1 million a year with network marketing. So every activity he did for his business, it was like, okay, does it move me closer to that? So, you know, maybe he wasn't the top recruiter and kind of like earning the prizes, but he was building like a super solid business, and having kind of a higher view of, you know, I'm not just going after the incentive this month, I'm building a business that lasts. And sometimes you have to eliminate some of the fluff, to do that. So yeah, that's super good. And even in the introduction, I kind of jumped over the introduction, but, he says the super successful build with the mindset of a CEO, while everyone else builds with the mindset of an employee, right? So like a lot of us show up and do the things, but it's very like, I'm an employee. It's not like I'm the owner, right? I'm the CEO, I own the business, which automatically you have way more skin in the game if you are the CEO, right? You have to move the needle, you have to have the plan, you have to have the vision. If you're an employee, you can kind of clock in, clock out, call a sick day, you know, whatever. But if you're thinking like a CEO, that's totally different. Any other thoughts on chapter 1? We're just kind of going to jump through them all. So just unmute. You got to be brave here if you want to talk. Okay, then we'll move on to chapter 2. So this one was about legacy. And the real gift of the business is being the person that you have to become in order to earn the income, right? The gift is not the paycheck. The gift is the personal development and the legacy that you leave. It's not just about what we're building personally, but that it actually can go beyond ourselves, right? Like it's something that you can actually leave. It leaves a trail, it leaves a path for others. There's no shortcuts to the top. And if you guys listen to Phil from his Elevate call last week, the call that Megan and Phil do, he talked about like trying to buy the next rank or trying to buy success on credit. Like if you could swipe a credit card and be Ruby, or swipe a credit card and be Diamond, like would you do it? Yes, but that's not how this works. Like there is no like getting ahead. If you have to build your business on sweat equity, right? Like you have to put the work in, there's no shortcuts. So I thought that tied in really well with chapter 2. So other thoughts on chapter 2, legacy? No, you read it, guys. It's a short chapter, actually.
So, I mean, I listened to it, so I'm like trying to go back now in the hard copy and look, but he talks about finding your why, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so again, in the coaching group that I'm doing, she talks about this and she's like, literally, you have to, and I can dive deeper into this. I don't want to take up too much time, but she's like, you have to, we're talking about motivation versus discipline. And she's like, you cannot even have motivation or discipline if you do not visualize what you want. Like you have to have clarity in that. And we've talked about this so many times, but she said like, just sit. She challenged us to sit and look at our dream board for 5 minutes. She's like, it's going to feel like a lifetime. You're going to want to stop after 1 minute. So this morning I did it. I lasted 2 minutes looking at it. And I was like, I'm done. Like, what the heck? And I was like, no, sit here some more, like, keep going. But like, it's hard and you have to build up that stamina. But I can see why, like, if you do want to leave a legacy, like, you have to, yeah, you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm listening to it too on audiobook. So and I just got the real book in the mail. So I'm like trying to figure out which nuggets I want to talk about and which chapters. But for this one, I just loved how it said like the income that you make will far surpass your expectations, that's not the real gift in this business. The real gift is being the person you have to become in order to earn the income. Like that is like, I don't know. The real gift is being the person you have to become in order to earn the income. Like, I don't know, like I am not earning an emerald income because I'm not showing up like that, or a diamond or whatever, like, because I have not become that person yet. Like I still have the road to travel, which is like difficult to hear, but at the same time, it's a little bit like empowering. Like, okay, like I have all this growth. I still can grow so much to get to where I'm going, kind of thing. And it's not about the money. It's about who you're becoming. I thought that was cool.
Yes, I love that, Shan.
I really liked the part where he talks about when we look at our decisions and the effects that they will have 7 generations down the road. And just thinking about like living up to your full potential and being able to then mentor others. And that kind of just, for me, was like tugging at my heartstrings, just because it's like, I think about like the generations and I think about like my children and their children. And like, if I can break the patterns, like, because I'm very big on this, like for me anyway, like generational trauma and things. And it just kind of coincided for me. And I was just like, okay, like that's exactly what I want to do, is I want to show my children that I can make these changes and make life better. And then therefore that impacts their life and then their children and then their children's children. And not just that, then the other people that we're helping and mentoring, what kind of, butterfly effect that has then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so good, Sarah. 7 generations. Like, do we ever even think about that? Like, we're so like egocentric sometimes, right? It's just like, I got to survive this day. But, you know, everything we're doing has an impact. And like, our children are going to have children who are going to have children. Like, what kind of legacy are we leaving? Yeah, that's awesome, Sarah. Okay, let's move on to chapter 3, since we just have a couple minutes. So this was on the build to last mindset, which is huge. And I had a lot of notes on this section, but he talks about how it's a business of do and then learn. You can't learn everything and then start. Like, you have to do and then learn. So 95% of enduring success is our mindset and thoughts behind the action that we're taking. And he says that leaders know that plowing along when their mindset isn't right does not lead to success in this business. So you might be a workhorse and you might be, you know, showing up every day, but if we're just plowing along with a terrible mindset, we actually are not going to be successful. And the other thing I really loved is he talks about momentum as a wave, which, like, if you guys are in our 2023 chat, which you all are, like, it's momentum makers with the wave. So like, we literally talk about this all the time, but he says that to get to that place of momentum where you can ride the wave, you have to get through the surf. And the surf is your fears, your insecurities, your self-doubt, all the negativity. You have to get through that to get out to the wave where momentum can be caught. And he says, like, there's, again, no shortcut. Like, you have to work through the hard mindset things in order to get the big momentum. And then, you know, sometimes we think that, oh, that was so hard, like, it's only going to get harder. Like, my team's going to get bigger, it's going to be harder. But riding that wave of momentum is actually much less work than crashing around in the surf. It's crashing around in the surf that's really, really hard and exhausting. So it's that hard work of, you know, doing all the mindset work and then being able to catch the momentum. So that's what I loved. What did you guys love about the mindset chapter?
I love the part where he said, if you had paid $250,000 for a franchise, would you be showing up in the way that you're showing up for your business right now?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's the blessing and the curse of this business. It has a low barrier to entry, right? You buy your welcome pack. It's $100 or $200. So anybody can do it, right? Which is great. It's accessible for everyone, but you also have almost no skin in the game. So if it gets a little hard, or somebody's mean to you, or you have a bad day, it's really easy to go out the back door because there's very little skin in the game. Whereas if you had invested in a franchise, you'd be like, I'm 250,000 in the hole. I have to get it together and show up and recover that investment, right? Really successful people in this business are treating it like they spent, you know, $500,000 to buy in. That really hit me hard too.
Okay, one more real quick.
Yep.
Number 5, like, he talks about setting overarching long-term goals. And then in his action steps, he talks about this. And Brittany, you mentioned this too the other day, like how you were going through past convention notes, right? And wasn't one of your fears like setting goals?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, I resonate too, because sometimes I'm like, I don't know, what is my goal? I can't even set this goal. But if we like really have again, going back to your why, what is your clear why? And I love what he says, like, write down the long-term 5-year income goal that you're striving to, that will support the life that you envision. And then like breaking that down. And I know I've done this for some of my team, but like breaking it, like we've broken it down into 90-day goals, right? And like, I literally created a graphic for some of my team members, like, this is the number one thing that you have to do, because this is the number one thing that is going to support your, like, getting to this goal. Like, you can maybe skip some of the other things, but this is what you have to do. And then there's 5 of the other things, kind of like we've done in the past, 5 main moves. And again, it goes back to eliminating some of that fluff, like, that we don't. And like, I think for me too, like giving myself permission that I don't have to be in every little thing. Like, I don't have to have my hands in every little thing that Plexus does. I can't do that. So just staying true to what my goal is and like my team's goals and helping them, I think is just a good reminder.
Mm-hmm.
and setting those goals, like set your goals.
Yep. That's good. All right, I know it's a little past 9, so let's quickly go chapter 4 and 5. So chapter 4 was personal development plan, not listen to a podcast, read a book. And we were just talking about this in our chat for those of you that are in that Build to Last book chat. You know, we don't need to read 52 books a year. Okay. You don't need a million things. We just need a few personal growth things that we actually act on. Like, how many books do we listen to and things do we do? But if we actually read, implement, make changes, we need far fewer things, but it's more of a plan, not just doing personal development to do it. So that was my big takeaway. Like, I want to read this book at least 2 or 3 times and do every action item, right? Like, that will actually change things for me, as opposed to like just listening to 100 podcasts a week and being like, oh, that was nice. That's not a plan. That's not going to do a whole lot for me. Yeah. So what did you guys think?
I felt like that was such a good perspective for me, because I don't know why I was thinking like, oh, I need to read like more. Like, I've been reading this book for too long. Like, I need to move on to the next thing. Like, and even just like a podcast or whatever. Like, it's not about how many podcasts or how many books you read. Like, no one cares if you're not absorbing anything out of the book. So
Yeah.
even if you need to read the same book all year long and nail down all of the aspects of the book, that's going to be more impactful on your life and your business and whatever than trying to read every single book that everybody recommends because everybody else is reading whatever. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you feel like, oh, I have to read that book because she read it. And like, I don't know, like, I've flown through books and I'm just like checking it off the box and not really implementing anything. So it's a bunch of waste of time. So I really am going to do the same thing with this book, is just listen to it on the audiobook and then reread, do the questions until I've worked through all of it. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I love it.
force myself to do the personal growth,
Right.
not just absorb it.
Yeah. And you'll see so much of an impact from that instead of just absorbing it. And Danielle said in the chat, you know, the new format for convention with the breakout sessions, it's like encouraging this, like, really hone in on that thing you need to learn, like, be in that session, be totally present. Don't be worrying about like all the other sessions. You'll get the rundown later, but like really focus in. So yeah, that's so true, Danielle.
I think that goes with a lot of things too. Oh, hi guys, it's me,
Hey,
Tabitha.
Tab.
I think that goes with a lot of things, not just like books, and not, I think that's like with everything, like goals and things that we really want to do, even like IPA. I know you've said this many times in the past, Brittany, like, you know, sometimes even if you're not able to do a ton of things in one day, if you are focused on 3 things and really do a lot, you know, with those 3 things, and you have a lot of takeaway from that, then, you know, I feel like that's same kind of thing with everything.
Yes. Yeah. That focus, having focus. So good. Okay. And then chapter 5 was on your belief. And this was a really powerful chapter. And really comes down to like, do we truly believe that this business can change people's lives? And he shares a really powerful story, which we don't have time to go into, but it'll make you cry if you read it. But that, like, literally, like, small acts of kindness do save people's lives. Like, it's a story of a kid who was going to commit suicide basically and chose not to because someone took the time to notice him and just help him with something very basic. And in our business, we have the same kind of opportunity. So, you know, when we position ourselves with the belief that what we're offering is a gift, then every time we present the business, you're offering a gift, right? And someone can take it or they cannot take it, but that totally changes the way that you show up, right? Instead of being hesitant to pitch the business, instead of having fear around it, it's like, no, this is a gift and it might totally change someone's lives. So I would love to hear what thoughts you guys had on this one too. Right. It's okay if they don't want it. Yeah. It's just our job to offer it.
That story was super powerful. I literally was almost in tears, and like, he didn't even tell him about the fact that he was going to commit suicide until it was like 5 years later that he realized just that small act of kindness of just like helping him with his books. And I feel like I can think of many of times and stories where like we've heard that from our customers, or we've heard that from other people within Plexus, like even if it's not like that huge, like suicide, you're still changing the trajectory of somebody's life. Like because Brittany shared this with me, I believe and know that I'm a completely different person than I would have been had I not had Plexus in my life.
Yeah,
Products, community, business, all of it.
all the things. Yeah.
Oh.
No, right. So we have to remember that when we go to do our IPA, like, why do we sit in fear and hesitation when we know like what a blessing it can be for people? And I'll just read this quote that he says at the end of the chapter. What I have to offer is a gift, not a burden. I've made the decision to let go of any fear of approaching others with my opportunity. I know our industry has the ability to change the lives of those who join and the generations to follow. I just love that.
I was going to say, to piggyback off of all that is like, a thought on implementing it is like maybe going through not even just like our own customers, our teammates, but like other ones that we find out there that we feel are powerful that we're like sharing and posting about in events or on our pages, and having some of them printed out or in front of us somewhere and breaking them out before we do IPA to like remind us of why it is that we share, because it is so true. Like that we know that this creates change for people and really helps people because we have our own stories. But I think it definitely is easy in the moment just to let fear take a hold of that. So like something like you said, like either having like some sort of statement written out or having the examples in front of you, I think would really help.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. And I love too, Danielle just said she reached out to a former customer and her significant others in the ICU. So she's prompted to like do something loving for them, right? So sometimes the reach out results, maybe they don't sign up, but maybe you're able to bless them in another way. And that's part of this too. So, okay, I know we're 10 minutes past, so we'll wrap it up. We'll do our next discussion in 2 weeks. I will see a whole bunch of you at convention, and thank you guys for hanging on a little late. I just wanted to give Michael that time first, but I appreciate you guys being on, and have a wonderful night, guys. Thank you.